she needs to be unmuted eventually.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, good evening, everybody. My name's Alita Camille Spire. I'm one of the NMDs on our heat calls that we have every Tuesday night. Lots of rock stars in our business that are sharing their wisdom, their stories, and their love for what we do. So I have the huge pleasure of introducing my dear, dear friend who I met in the Q school. I know some of you don't know what that is, but we instantly got close, and I just love her to death. Nicolle Scott is a health advocate, a business owner of passion for nutrition, a holistic nutritionist, a freedom junkie, a travel seeker, a boss babe, and an independent mom of 2 teenage girls who live in Uxbridge. She graduated from the University of Calgary with a BA in psychology and a business minor. A true Westerner at heart, she was transferred to Ontario in 1995 with Cadbury Beverages. She spent 10 years in food manufacturing industry in sales before changing careers after learning that her daughter had food allergies. After graduating in 2005 from the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition, she worked in a wellness clinic, consulting with teaching nutrition and workshops in her community. That changed 14 years ago when her mother introduced her to Juice Plus. Wow. Yay, moms. Having a passion for business and nutrition, Juice Plus was perfect fit for a home-based business with 2 young children. Nicolle is a 100 Club NMD and loves the flexibility and income that this business provides. She is truly following her dreams and living life to the plus, leading a group of passionate health warriors around the world. And she comes all the way from Toronto, Canada, which is kind of near Uxbridge, right? So, je parle avec toi. No, we're not going to speak in French during this call, but I want to introduce you to my dear friend, Nicolle Scott. I'm going to take it away, Nicolle.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be on the call tonight. And
Chris, you want to spotlight her now.
And I will keep chatting. So I've got about 30 minutes to share my journey to 100 Club. I was just down last month in Arizona, and Alita came up to me and said, oh my gosh, that presentation that you just did, we need you to do it on our team call. So that's why I'm here. And it's just such a privilege and honor to be able to share my journey. So thanks for listening. I'm going to just share a screen so I can get right to it here. Everybody can see that. Alita, you're good? Maybe Nikki, give me a thumbs up. I can see your face on the screen. So you can see it, we're good? Okay, awesome. So I'll just move right in then. So this is actually really a messy story. I don't know of too many stories of 100 Club that is not messy. And so I want to really just give you my heart and my vulnerability of the journey that I went on. And I always say, if I can do this journey, you guys can do this journey. So let's just get started here. Just a sec here. For whatever reason, my screen is frozen. There we go. Okay, so first off, I have to thank my mom. My mom was the one that introduced me to Juice Plus. And as you can see, my mom and I actually look like sisters more than we do mother and daughter, because I am starting to let my beautiful gray hair go. I'm matching with Nikki. Nikki and I are looking pretty good. And, you know, it's a beautiful journey. So I just got back from Ecuador. I was there with my mom. We took this picture in Ecuador. And honestly, everybody thought we were sisters. It was quite hilarious. But back to thank you, my mom. My message on this slide is do not be a one and doneer. And what I mean by that is my mom talked to me about Juice Plus for a very long time. And I kept on telling her, no, not right now. No, probably never. But she never really heard me. She just loved on me and caught me at the right time. So my mom shared Juice Plus with me when, and she was really smart. I had just come off of 2 weeks of sick kids. So I was tired, grumpy, and vulnerable. So she had a really good strategy and it worked for her. So first off, if you guys have a pen and a paper, this is something that I work with all of my reps out of the gate, is I want to understand where they are out of a scale of 1 to 10. So a belief in the product, a belief in the company, belief in network marketing, and belief in you. So when I got started in this business, the belief in my product went very quickly from, you know, a 0 to a 10 in about 4 months. I'm going to share a little bit more about that story in a bit. Belief in the company took a while because I needed to come out to some events. Belief in network marketing, guys, this is where my story gets really juicy. I was probably like a minus 100, okay? And I'll tell you more about that. And then, of course, belief in you. And I did have a lot of belief in me just based on where I had gone in my life. And I knew whatever I decided that I was going to set my mind to, I would just do it. Oh, hold on here. I don't know why my screen just went like that. I didn't touch anything. Can you still hear me, Nikki? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna just keep on going. So really my journey, you know, is about messy. And I'm gonna go through mindset, leading by example, sacrifice, seek, and talking about yes. So here goes my story. Again, you heard from Alita. I was a corporate gal. I worked in the industry for 10 years. It was food allergies that really woke me up. I changed careers, became a holistic nutritionist, but in that journey, I lost myself as a stay-at-home mom. I definitely experienced alcohol abuse, a broken marriage, lots of weight gain, adrenal fatigue, and I even had suicidal thoughts at one point. I just didn't want to be here anymore. And this was me in the Juice Plus business. And so, you know, it was a rocky journey at times. But I can say that I'm a single mom. I'm thriving. I'm whole food focused. I've started this new Gorgeous Grey movement. If you want to join me, if you're needing some inspiration on going gray, it's pretty fun and powerful. And you can find me on social media with Passion for Nutrition, Passion for Life, Gorgeous Grey movement. But to just go back to my quick Juice Plus story, what ended up happening is I was so skeptical about the product that I ended up going to my best friend who had a clinic who did live blood analysis. And I went to her and I said, listen, you need to take my blood. You need to take my 2-year-old's blood. You need to take my 3-year-old's blood. And my mom thinks that this stuff is going to do something. I don't think it will. Yeah, it's got some research, but you know what? I just think it's one of those network marketing companies that, you know, really just tries to sell you way too expensive stuff. So I got her to take it. 4 months later, we go back. She looks at me and she's like, oh my gosh, you're never going to believe it, Nicolle, but this stuff actually works. This stuff is working. And she explained all the stuff. So she's like, if your blood work was like at a 6, you're now at a 9. And that goes for you and your girls. So she goes, how are you feeling? And I was like, well, actually, I'm feeling really good. I started to run again. I haven't run in years because I didn't have the energy. And I've got 2 or 3 hours back in the night because my mojo's back. I've just got this, like, I don't know, this newfound energy and just newfound energy for life. So I was feeling pretty amazing, but it was what was happening to Ella. We went back to her holistic team, and her holistic team said, that Ella's allergy has come down in half. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is just incredible, because this was the only thing that I did in those 4 months was Juice Plus. And in a year, we became an allergy-free family. So my story of where my product belief got really, really fast was in those first 4 months. And I just became this mom on a mission. I had to share it with everybody. I was like, this is just incredible. And that's what I did. I just went out there and wanted to share it with the world. I'll tell you a little bit more about my network marketing story in a bit. So first off is mindset. You definitely need to get your mindset right in this business. You know, you really will become whatever you believe you will become. And at times I was really strong in that mindset, and at other times I wasn't. And what ended up happening is I really had to work on the different stories that were playing in my head. So my question to you is, what's your story that maybe is holding you back in this business? So network marketing doesn't work. That was one of my stories. I'm too busy. These were all of my stories that were playing in my head when I first started. Don't get too close to people. You're going to get hurt. I moved like 28 times, so I never got close to people. Money's bad. It doesn't grow on trees. I had a mom who was a single mama for 4 of us, and we didn't have a lot of money, and we had to use the food bank at times. So I really had money issues. You have to work harder to get more. That was my dad, who was a workaholic. I can't afford Juice Plus because I had quit my corporate job and there was no money coming in. I can't even afford to go to conference, and I can't. That was my language when I first started in this business. So you can imagine the type of work and mindset that I needed to do to get to not only national marketing director, but to 100 Club. And so I had to work hard at changing those stories. So, my question to you is, what story am I willing to change in order to move forward in all areas of my life? Doing work with the Brene Brown program, there was a couple things that really stood out that I want to share with you. And this is what I recognize when I'm working with new teammates, is that the number one shame in women is body image, and the number one shame in men is weakness. And so when I'm working with either a woman or a man in this business, we have some pretty big vulnerable conversations in the beginning. Some of them are open to going there and some aren't, and that's okay. But I really want to just know where their story is. And right away I can tell, especially for a woman, where their conversation is going when they have an issue of doing live videos. Right away, if they have a fear around live videos, it's pretty much because they are so fearful about what they look like and what other people are going to judge them. So we have to have some pretty big conversations around that. But once I start getting someone in front of the camera and they start to believe in themselves, I see beautiful growth in this business. And so I usually challenge my new people out of the gates to do a live video right away, just to help them with that story. Here are some of the mindset tools that I've used over the years. Landmark Forum is something that is available to anybody if you Google them, Landmark Forum. That was what I did in my early 30s to start, peeling off the onion layer so that I could really dive into my stories and start to change the stories in my head. Image I did as well under Dr. Mitra Ray, did that type of work for a while as well. Brave Leaders through our company. Affirmations, meditation, finding an accountability buddy. That's my best friend there, Melissa. She's a 50 Club on my team. I found her in the business. The great thing about this company is, oh good, oh there we go. Look at that, magic. I don't know what happened to my video, but I'm back. Is this business gifts you with best friends, and a lot of my best friends in this business I have gotten because I've gotten to know them, and you become like-minded and you hang out with each other, so it's really cool. As I found some of my dearest friends in this business. Lots of reading, of course, and doing the spiritual work and the business. So I always have usually business coaches and spiritual coaches. So that I can always be working on me. So lots of growth, like lots of growth. If you wanted me to put a dollar value of how much I've invested in me, it's a lot, but it has been so worth it. And it's been like the best investment because I'm a different version of me. If you were to know who I was 14 years ago, I don't even recognize her. I don't even recognize me from 5 years ago. And that's why I love this company, is that you get to hang out with people that are always willing to grow, that are always willing to lean into the fear. And as we know that the magic happens just outside the comfort zone. And this company and the leadership always has been pushing me to just get out of that comfort zone so that I can live in a life of greatness. And so I'm forever humbled with the leadership that I get to be surrounded by. Okay, E, this is a big one. Lead by example. So where in the business are you afraid to lead? And this was a big one for me. So when I had gone through my divorce, I had leaned into alcohol to kind of be my best friend. And that's not a really good habit to take on, but I had taken that habit on because it was just shown to me as a young kid that that was a solution when things were going bad. And so I remember when the Transform 30 came out about 4 or 5 years ago, and Dr. Mitra, who's my mentor, had told us about all of these rules and that we had to lead by example. And I remember secretly doing everything that Mitra told me to do in the Transform 30, except for the drinking. I didn't stop the drinking because I didn't think it mattered. And it was about a year into the Transform 30 where I kind of felt my business was a little bit flat. I was kind of like at this and Mitra just said, Nicolle, are you doing everything on the Transform 30? Are you leading? And I was like, oh, I can't lie to Mitra. She'll call me out on it and she'll never talk to me again. So I said, no, actually, And so she challenged me to do it for 30 days. And I just remember it being so fearful of that, but I did it. And the cool thing is, in that month, not only did I shed 14 pounds, but my business started to take off. It started to actually blow up. And in that month is when Melissa went NMD. And I was like, holy cow, this stuff really works if you lead by example. You can't hide. And so that really gave me permission to be really, vulnerable and authentic. And then so many other of my distributors started to come out of the woodworks telling me that they were kind of secretly lying too, that they weren't fully doing it. And as soon as they started to do it authentically, their business started to grow. So it just kind of created this cool ripple effect. So where do you need to lead? Do you need to lead that weekly call because your team maybe is big enough? Do you need to lead that weekly call and be consistent with it? I remember when I started to kind of be at that SSC level and QNMD, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm so scared about that consistent call because what if I don't want to do that call that night? I was like in panic mode because, this leadership thing is about holding yourself accountable and then you be accountable for people, and that scared me. Where else do you need to lead? Do you need to do regular events in the home or online? Are you doing a lot of talking and expecting your team to do it, but you're not acting like it? So you need to look at that. Maybe, how about your shred groups? Are you leading shred groups? Are you showing up at events? Are you signing up new reps yourself? Are you in the, as I like to say, the trenches with your team instead of just being in management mode? So where are you hiding in the business? And then ask yourself why. And are you willing to change that? Okay, S is sacrifice, right? Great achievement is usually born of great sacrifice and is never the result of selfishness. And I learned that. I used to think I was so selfish. My partner at the time, husband, would be like so much guilt for me going to an event. Oh my gosh, this is your second event this week. And so like I was like feeling so guilty about it. And when I look back no, it was sacrifice. I wasn't being selfish. I was sacrificing definitely some family time and missing some of my kids' events and stuff. But I tell you, when I look back at that, I'm like, I'm so glad I sacrificed when I did so that I can be here now with my kids, especially as teenagers where they need mommy more than ever, going through all the stuff that teenagers do. And I go, wow, it was so worth it. So I want to tell you a quick story because I love telling stories. This is a story about sacrifice. So I'm going to paint a picture for you. It's February. It's stormy kind of out. There's snow. We're probably at about -20. And I'm down in the basement and I'm by the warm fireplace. I got my young kids and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I booked this event at a restaurant like an hour and a half away. It's like a Wednesday night. The last thing I want to do is jump in a car and go and talk to the potential of nobody showing up. Have you ever had the no-shows? So there's my story going off. Oh my gosh, what if nobody shows up? This is going to be a waste of my time. But the one thing is I'm a woman of her word. So there were going to be a couple reps there. They were trying to get some guests out. And I said, hon, I got to go and do this. I've committed. If it's too dangerous to drive, I will turn around, I promise. So I show up at the restaurant. There's 6 people. And this lady in the picture's name is Ashley. And Ashley Ant was at that restaurant. And she had just given the whole spiel of how sick she had been. She'd been literally on the couch for 9 years and just, really poor health. And she's like, I can't afford this, but thanks for sharing. Well, the next day she called and she committed to doing the Transform 30. She must have borrowed money from someone. I don't know how. Anyways, long story short, Tina gets her life back. She changes, she loses 50 pounds, she gets off a lot of her medications. But it was what she did with Ashley, which was her niece. And Ashley joined our business. She's lost 100 pounds. She's one of our fastest growing leaders right now in the business. She's from a small town. She is helping hundreds of women. She focuses on women And these are large women. She's got a group of large women that are losing weight through the shred program.
Putting chapstick on.
Oh, I think somebody needs to get muted there, Alita. So anyways, when I say sacrifice, if I never went to Peterborough that night, we would have never met Tina. We would have never met Ash. And Ash is actually one of the sweetest women that I know. She's become a dear friend. And that's what I mean about sacrifice, guys. You know, what are you willing to give up? I was willing to give out the comfort of my family and my fireplace to find a gem. And typically in those moments when you're indecisive, those are the moments that you have to make the right decision. And the right decision was my word. Okay, so next, oh, my screen has froze again. Hold on. Maybe because I spent too much time talking on it. Okay, hold on. I might actually have to get out and go back. See if it will unfreeze. No, it doesn't want to move forward. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Technology. Okay, so here we go. What are you willing to give up for a short period of time? TV, sleep, kids, family events, PJs, and replace with heels. What I mean by that is, real quick, I had a distributor that was complaining that, you know, she gets home from work, she wasn't doing anything for herself to build her business. And I said, one night a week, you need to replace your PJs and put some heels on and go and network. And she started to do that, and her business started to take off because she was meeting new people. You know, what are you willing to give up? The comfort of your routine. I'm willing to give up what in order to create a freedom lifestyle? S is seek. Only as high as I can reach can I grow. Only as far as I seek can I go. Only as deep as I look can I see. Only as much as I dream can I be. And this is where I really get our distributors thinking about their vision and their clarity. You know, what does it look like for you? Do you have a vision board? Do you know where you're going? Do you have a plan? You know, how does it make you feel? Are you excited about your goals? You know, and then once you hit your goals, what's the next one? So this was my vision board way back in 2011. It was my first vision board that I've ever done. It was back when I was 3 years into the business. I was a senior sales coordinator. And you can see I had the NMD up there and the whole bit. And I even had a 100 Club NMD. And I had said that I was going to be a 100 Club NMD in 2016. So it's pretty cool when I looked back at all the stuff that did end up happening. And I had a 100 Club vision. I had it right from the get-go when Mitra painted the picture. And this is just our team celebrating. And the best is when you get to celebrate with your team and to see their success. So, you know, what do you imagine your life in the next 5 years? Like I said, my life has changed so drastically. You know, I'm a single mom. I bought my brand new townhouse. I took the girls on a Disney cruise. All this stuff that I thought would never happen has happened. And it just keeps on getting grander and grander because I think I'm just clear. And I get really clear on the vibration that I send out to the world. Why is yes? So life is a lot more fun when you say yes rather than no, wouldn't you agree? And Mitra taught me this a long time ago, is that, you know, that energetic energy in the universe always wants you to go out and have fun and play. You got to do the work, but then go out and have. And I didn't know that. I didn't understand that because I had grown up with a father that was a workaholic. And so for me, all I knew was work and I didn't know how to have fun. And Mitra was like, if you start to have more fun, I guarantee that your business is going to start to blow up. And so I was like playing around with this and I was like, yeah, whatever, Mitra, this is sounding too, you know, fairy-like, but it worked for me and it worked for our team as we started to have more fun and work less. So what do you need to say yes to more often? So here is my Push to 100 Club, events. That's always the solution is action, getting into action. So events is what we did to do it. Bank code, you can look on it on the website, bankcode.com, I believe. And it's just understanding personalities that really just helped me understand my distributors and how to work with them better. I ended up hiring a part-time personal assistant. I'm not a very organized person. I squirrel a lot. My color for bank code is red. So red is about action. And so I'm a great idea girl. I have a lot of ideas for the next and the next, but all the little gritty detail, not for me. That's blue and green. And so I was drowning in the details, and I finally found somebody to take over that 3 years ago, and she has just saved my behind big time. So, you know, own your strengths and then get help with your weaknesses. We have lots of strong communication tools with our team. We have Design a Life You Love Facebook page. It's a private group, and that's where we actually have all of our team stories. So they're about 5 to 10 minutes long, and what we love about that is that when a new prospect comes, we find that we attract a lot of yellows, which are nurturers, and yellows like stories. And so within the group, people know, and they're titled like what that story is going to be. So if somebody comes in and they want to hear a story of this or that, they can just search it and then find that story to connect with their heart. We're doing a lot more planning, and the big one was consistent shred groups. And then always be creating a new revised story of you. So you heard about my gray movement. So there you go. There's my dark hair, and now there's my gray hair. And so for the last 5 months, I have been leading a group of women. It's called the Gorgeous Gray Movement, and hashtag Own Your Own Sparkle. And it's a lot of fun. And, you know, my girls are like, why are you going gray? And I'm like, because it's going to bring me more distributors. Leave me alone. It's more than that, guys. It really is more than that. But I'm doing it because of the health of it. I'm doing it because I want to inspire other women to reduce their toxic load. And I'm just having so much fun. Do you know how much conversation gray hair generates when you're in your 40s? Holy moly, I am having conversations with 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds. And guess what? My last distributor I signed up was from my Gorgeous Gray Movement group, definitely. And she just got her first order today. So there you go. It's fun. Just always get creative and figure out what fuels your passion. So, you know, in the messy of life, I found me, and the bonus was I got to 100 Club. So that is, that was my presentation. I was looking at my watch. I think there's like 2 minutes left. I'm going to stop there. There we go. I was fast. I know, Alina, you said 30 minutes. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like running a marathon. But there you go.
Thank you so much, Nicolle. And I love your transparency. And I love the fact that you, gosh, just, you know, create new ways. And I got my bank code colors here. So I know that we always like look for other ways to get that personal development. I know that was a huge thing for you. And you're so inspiring. I'm reading these, love your transparency. You're so inspiring. You're so cute. You know, I just think that leading by example is huge. And in knowing your personality code, right? So you don't have to beat yourself up if you're not a blueprint. You can find somebody maybe to join your team who is, and have them organize your calendar or whatever. And so we don't have to do it all, right? And I think that's the big deal, is like, if we can just learn how to just capitalize on our strengths and the things we do like to do, then it makes it a lot more fun and easier to do, you know, to be with that. So we only have 1 minute, but if there's anybody that you'll have to unmute yourself that has a question for Nicolle, we can take one question. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can. Does anybody have a question? If you want to raise your hand or ask a question, that would be great. Nobody? I have a question, Nicolle.
Yes, go for it.
When you don't have a great story, or you don't have like a reason for, you know, like trying to, like a big, strong why, what is it that would get, I'm sure you have lots of distributors like that, get them on the other side of the fence? First of all, a good story, you have to have a strong belief in the product. But what about the strong why for doing the business?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I love our Facebook group that we set up a couple years ago, and it has all of the stories. So if I have, and I actually have quite a few distributors that are like, you know what, I don't have a story like you, Nicolle. You know, your story was so powerful. And, you know, their story is like, hey, I'm just not getting sick as much, but they're already healthy. So I totally get that question. We just have to tap them into other stories. I know when they hear the stories, they're like, oh my gosh, that was so uninspiring, because that inspiration for them keeps their motivation going so that they can build their story portfolio. And as they build their story portfolio and they start to get the ashy stories and stories like me, let me tell you, their product belief will go from maybe a 3 to a 10 overnight. So they just have to tap them into other stories, I think is my main message.
That's great. And thanks a lot for sharing your transparency as far as some of the things you had to sacrifice, right? And how your business then exploded with those intentional moves to clean up some of the areas in your life that we don't necessarily want to.
That's true.
You know, being on boards of several different things or whatever it might be, it just, you have to take that time to say, what is the most important thing that I need to do today to accomplish what I want to be tomorrow, right?
Absolutely.
So I want to see, Nikki, Chris, if you can unmute everybody and we can all thank her. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, Nicolle, for, I know it's a little bit later there, but thank you so much for being our guest speaker tonight. And I just love you to death. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Nicolle.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
So appreciate it. Thank you.
Inspiring.
Rocked it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Very inspiring. Thank you very much.
All right.